Hey, I'm Angie with Angie.Knows.Loans, and I decided that I was going to start telling you guys more about me and just stories and have coffee time with you. Coffee time is very special to me because it's something that when I was living with my folks, I would do with my dad. Like I would get up early, he'd be the only one awake, and we would just drink coffee together. It's such a special place in my heart. So anytime I'm able to get over there super early in the morning, I like to still do it because we just talk about anything, like whatever's on your mind. And sometimes it would just be like decompressing everything that you're stressed about. Sometimes it's just enlightening conversations. Sometimes it would just be what's going on in your world? What do you got planned for today? Just a safe place, comfort. And so I figured I would share a little bit of that with you because obviously you can't get the full effect because my dad is not here. Although I may go drive over there one day and surprise you guys. But anyways, so today I'm going to start with my passion and why people have asked me, why am I passionate about mortgages? And I will tell you that I have grown to become passionate about mortgages. So my background is that I majored in finance. I was always really interested with numbers, wanting to look at everything. And then when I started as an accountant, I learned more about the financial realm and I've always just loved numbers. And one of the things when I came out of grad school was I was like, I'm going to form a nonprofit that educates people financially, right? Like still a dream, still a goal, whatever. And then life happens, you start working and you're like, I got to do all these different things. So I started doing mortgages because I was like, okay, I love my accounting job. I was working at a nonprofit, didn't pay much. And so I started doing the loans on the side. And it's a story I tell often, so if you've heard it, sorry, but I'm trying to give you the background. And so I started doing mortgages just as a part-time position to pay down some bills. And as I started to do it, I really enjoyed it because I was helping people financially, but with a huge investment. Because there are a lot of people that come that are not ready, and I have to educate them and give them a plan and help them get to the point where they're ready, right? And then once they get to that goal, it's just like, oh, we did it, let's go. But that is a passion of mine. And I grew up where we didn't have those conversations. We didn't talk about buying houses. We didn't talk about any of those things. Like a lot of the stuff I learned is from, watching things that wouldn't go as well. And I was like, okay, I got to make sure that I don't have to do this. And then also, my father was very good about educating us financially, by making us read these books, and telling us, because basically, do as I say, not as I do. You know what I mean? And we didn't have the conversations about owning houses, owning properties. And so I feel like if I didn't, there are a lot of people that did not either. And I feel like, why not? Why can't we? And so my goal is to try and educate more people to be able to help them achieve a goal, because who doesn't want to own property? Who doesn't want generational wealth? Who doesn't want to be an investor at some point, right? Like these are things where you're taught later on and it's like, I never even thought about it. And I feel like when somebody plants a seed into you, then that is something that they can plant and it grows, whether you implement it then or not. And I'll tell you, I remember the first time somebody asked, like, have you ever considered, making six figures? And I was like, what? I never even thought about that. I had a master's and it never even crossed my mind. But somebody saw it in me and they believed in me and they were like, hey, have you thought about this? And I'm like, no, never. What? You've never? No. And so that's what I feel about houses. It's like, have you ever thought about yourself as being a homeowner? No, I never thought about that. I've always just thought I'd rent for the rest of my life. I thought I'd live in this apartment. I thought I'd live in this rental house like for the rest of my life. I never thought about it. But now that I've thought about it, planting the seed, maybe I can have that, planting the seed. Well, what do I need to do to get there? And that to me is so important. That is my passion. It's just something that I feel like if you desire it, if it's been in your head, that we can work to get there. You know, it may not be overnight. It may take some sacrifice and planning. But if that is something you want, why not? You know, um, I feel like I need to drink coffee because it's coffee time. Another passion of mine is single women, and this derives from my own story again, and that's why I feel like I'm motivated to want to help and educate. Is because you know, how I grew up and the society that I grew up in culturally, it was like, you know, you get married, then buy a house. That was the steps. So I never considered buying a house until I got married, right? Um, and I think as a woman, I never thought about doing it on my own. I never had that thought. I never thought, like, you know what? I need to go ahead and do this. I literally would be like, you know, I could just rent. And then once I get married, and it's like, no, I got to just do it, you know? And so when I had that thought in that moment, I was like, I need to do this now. Hold on, my alarm's about to go off. Okay, I didn't want it to interrupt, but I was like, I need to do this now. And it was scary. I was like, can I do this on my own? Can I afford this on my own? Because at that point, you're in a household and it's just you. And so that's why I say single women, because it's like I feel like men grow up knowing that they're going to do that at some point. They grow up knowing that they're going to be the one footing the bills. They grow up knowing that. And as women, I feel like it's never really just put into us like that, you know? And so I talk about like single mothers, you know, when they're thinking like, okay, it's just me. I've got to pay these bills. I got to make sure I'm taking care of these kids, right? And you might not even consider that you could be a homeowner and still do the same thing. Like you're paying rent, you're affording it. And I think what scared me about homeownership is I was like, yeah, but if I'm paying rent, I can move out. A house is forever, it's mine, you know, but also you can sell it if you need to, right? But I don't know. For me, it was very important. And I was scared to do it on my own because I was like, it's just me. And now I've been in my house for 5 years, or is it about to be 6? I've been in it quite a while, and I'm so grateful to God. And because He told me to jump, He was like, just do it, you know? And He's been taking care of me. It's not just me, you know? Now, do I look forward to when I have a 2-person household and we can share these bills? Yes. But I shouldn't have to wait to buy a house or to make moves or to build businesses until then. I'm doing it now. And so those two things are like what I'm extremely passionate about because I really genuinely want us all to win. So that's my coffee time. I barely drank any coffee on this. But if you wanted to know a little bit about me, there you go. Oh, and I saw I had anxiety and I left. That is a real thing. I love this sweatshirt.